Have you ever thought about the lyrics to the song Born in the USA? You haven't? Let's break it down. Welcome back to MishMash, the program where we dig deeper into our favorite songs. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at a song written by Bruce Springsteen in 1981. Millions of people shouted out the lungs, singing with the boss. It's the best known Springsteen song, and it's on the list of the 500 greatest songs of all time according to Rolling Stone magazine. Many people think that it's about American pride because the lyrics and the melody of the hook emphasizes a patriotic feeling. But what is the song really about? Glad you asked. The song has 4 verses and 3 choruses. In a sense, it's 2 different songs. The one Bruce Springsteen wrote and the one the general public heard. In the first verse, we get an introduction to our main character in the song. Springsteen narrates the song from the perspective of a guy who is born in a small town with a lot of poverty. He had to fight to survive, and he clearly can't get over the scars a hard knock life leaves behind. So he lives his life covering up his pain and feelings. That leads us to the second verse where it becomes really interesting. Listen. So here he tells us what happens to him after he gets into some trouble with the law. They put a gun in his hands and draft him to the army. You see, back then, if you were doing good in school, you didn't have to go to the army. On the other side, if you were a little bit of a troublemaker, they would give you a choice. Go to jail or join the army. Think about it. What would you have chosen? So with a gun in his hand, this troubled young man gets shipped to another country to fight the Yellow Man. Yellow Man might not be the appropriate term to describe people that come from Vietnam, but the song is written in the US in 1981. Born in the USA! In the third verse, we have a time lapse. Our guy returns from war and faces unemployment, and wherever he looks for help, he is denied. There's no help to get. You see, when the Vietnam War was over, the US declared it as a loss, which meant that the soldiers coming back to the US weren't treated very well. Sad. Real sad. He goes on to tell us that he has a brother in Khe Sanh. He's probably referring to a brother in arms more than a brother. For all you out there who don't know about Vietnam, Khe Sanh is a province in the north of Vietnam where Khe Sanh combat base was located. He tells us that his brother is still there fighting the Viet Cong. And what comes next is really heartbreaking. I love it when a songwriter makes me visualize the imagery of the lyrics. Here he tells us that his friend dies and leaves behind the girl he loves. While we digest that information, it feels as though there is something he's not telling us. The lyrical breaks he takes between these 2 sentences gives us the perception that Mr. Springsteen had more to say, but chose not to. We don't know, but that leads us to the 4th verse of the song and another time lapse where our guy faces his inevitable future and a life in prison and misery. Let's sum it up. A guy is born in a town where he has to fight to survive. He gets into some trouble and gets sent to the war in Vietnam. In the song, we hear nothing about his time in Vietnam, although we hear about his brother in arms that gets killed. He comes back to his everyday life where he becomes a social reject. He can't find a job and he can't get help anywhere. The song addresses the harmful effects of the Vietnam War on the Americans and the treatment of Vietnam veterans upon their return. The hook and title of the song refers more to, is this really what it's like to be born in the USA? Is this really how the USA treats its people? Fun fact, the original title for the song was Vietnam. Springsteen got a script for a movie called Born in the USA, which gave him the idea for the new title. What a tune! I truly apologize if I've ruined your favorite song, but now you can listen to it with a whole other perspective. If you have any suggestions for a song you want us to find a deeper meaning of, please comment, share, like, subscribe. Do what you gotta do for more MishMash. And remember, when life gives you lemons, make orange juice.